A coaching conference was on Letterkenny at the weekend, and it's fitting that a local woman, Bríd McGinty, is the Coach of the Year, got the Coach of the Year award recently, and she has an UEFA A licence and recognised for her impact on coaching here in Donegal and beyond Donegal as well, because she's had an impact on the Republic of Ireland team, helping Amber Barrett and Ciara Grant, amongst others, along the way. And I'm delighted now that Bríd joins us for a chat in the studio. Bríd, congratulations on the award, first of all.
Thanks very much.
And what the weekend? I heard Oisin in Sport referencing it. Did it go well?
During the week, or like a lot of planning on it. I think last year it was in Galway, and Niall had said to the Brian Dorian and Trevor Scanlon it would be moved to Donegal this year. Right. And I suppose there's a lot of planning up until the weekend, but the weekend was excellent. The speakers, like the high profile people that they brought up to speak to people in Donegal, coaches came from all over.
Right, including Vera Pauw.
Vera Pauw, Eileen Gleeson, Sharon she's in Bristol, she's a sports psychologist. Who else? James Scott, the under 17 international manager, did a pitch session. Mark Cannon, the high performance director in the FAI, was up. And like these are all calibre, great people to have. Actually,
was it well attended? Was it well supported? Is there an appetite for more information?
There was, I think there was 60 in total that was there. Now there could have been a lot more. Like everything, people register in, and then things happen on the day that they aren't able to attend. But no, overall, they were happy with the attendance. Now on Sunday morning, there were more attending when it was a pitch session, like more as. Everything, coaches rather on the pitch than they are in a classroom style or whatever. So I would say that's why the Sunday session seemed to have more attendees than the.
Well, women's football it's on the up and up. Let's face it. And now with Ireland involved in the World Cup, it's only going one way, and it's going to be the whole buzz of the year really leading up to the World. When is the World Cup, by the way?
The first game is the 20th of July.
Okay,
so
brilliant.
From July till the middle of August then. So
it's going to be full on, and it's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be what we're all talking about. But with that then comes a need for more coaches and more women coaches, and I suppose the pathways are a lot better. There's a lot more opportunities, and it's a lot easier now than when you started back in 2007.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's more, like the FAI have re-energised their system, that they have female-only courses and to help, and even just workshops, basic 1 hour workshops, so that you can either do it online or they come out to local clubs or whatever to actually encourage people to get on the pathway. Now, a lot of the boys' teams, like any club, they'll have coaches for boys, and I think clubs are afraid to get involved in girls football because they're like, oh, we need females. But like, it's that perspective. Yes, females involved for the personal element, and the coach-player relationship builds better with a female, but still males can be involved. Like that's what the FAI have said. Like there's loads of men working in the female game, great experience, but can they assist now more females getting on the pathway so that they can give them their expertise and knowledge to help the female on the pathway?
Okay, so if there isn't a female coach in the club, don't let it be a reason not to start a women's team.
No, definitely not. Like you can have, like if you look, is there female coaches in the boys' games? Yeah, there is. So what's the difference in a female coaching a boy than a male coaching a female?
Yeah.
So I know people saying best practice is to have a female, but it's not essential. If you have two males that are willing to take an under 10 team, if they have all the procedures in place, why not just go for it?
But it would be nice to see more women coming through coaching. I mean, there's women refs now, and we want more and more women coaches as well.
Yeah, well, I know in Donegal lately, like we have had so many females coming through the pathway. Like there's Rafo have females, Convoy have females, and Mulroy have females, Milford. Like there is a lot of clubs that have the female coaches. Dunbar I'm trying to think. I'll probably left out clubs that have female coaches, and I think a lot of clubs have female coaches. But whenever I was starting out, it was where them female coaches actually got support. Like, I would go to a pitch, and if something happened during a game that I was unsure of, there was nobody there to support me.
Yeah.
So whereas now there's that support thing that if there's something happening in a game, the networking in women's football, it doesn't matter what club you are, the network seems to be better, that you can actually approach somebody in another club. Now, lately we've got the 17 and 19 girls in the coaching ladder, and there's 10 of them going to do national or the UEFA C licence in October.
Brilliant.
So it's brilliant. Like, they've come, their PDP 1, 2 and 3, the National D, and like to have them, and they're coaching in local clubs, which will only help the younger generation of players.
It's about the foundations. It's about having a structure in place, and then people can tap into the pathways and do these licenses. You've gone all the way to UEFA A, is that correct? So is there something beyond UEFA A?
Well, there's two more. There's the Elite A, which I'm starting now in March, and then the Pro, which is an ambition, but if that ever happens, it's another thing. But the Elite A, I'm doing that now, so there'll only be one. That'll be the last one to the Pro.
You've been involved with Gaynor Cup squads, with the Women's League Academy, Letterkenny IT, the Donegal Women's League, and now Letterkenny Rovers. And you're saying off air there, you're starting from scratch at Letterkenny Rovers.
Yeah, like initially, whenever I would have started coaching, it would have been with Lagan, and Lagan has had a lot of success in girls football, and the committee there were great. So it was a new challenge now going into Rovers. Starting from scratch, I think it's 15 years since they had a female team. Now, they were very successful in the time. They won their Intermediate Cup, they won a Junior Cup. John McLaughlin, I think, was the manager of the time that they won one of the Intermediate Cups. I think they actually won two before, so I'm not sure who the first manager was. And then in the Junior Cup, Johnny Baird would have had the junior element in it, but then it all fell down. So then now, after 15 years, the committee's like wants to get new it's set up. Like, Letterkenny is a massive area, massive population, and it's just to tap into them unplayed players and try to give them a pathway to go forward.
There's more of an appetite. There's more girls coming through. There's more women who want to play football for one reason or another. So it's important that clubs have a team in place for them and to accommodate them.
Yeah, like,
and coaches to go with that, whether that's male or female.
Yeah, like it's a social element as well. Like, everybody. Over the last couple of years with COVID, it's the release of that. The player welfare has to come out and try to get them, like, as an hour's exercise. Like, if you go onto a pitch, doesn't matter how bad a day you had, if you go onto a football pitch, somebody will have a joke. Somebody, at the end of the session, you'll have had a laugh about 4 or 5 times. So the pressure of everyday life is lifted from you, that you have that release, and it's a mental health benefit as well if you look at it.
Yeah,
it's back, like.
But and it's been involved in a team setup as well, and everything that goes with that. And you make. I was chatting to a parent down at Oral on Sunday morning. There was young fellas over training, and we were just chatting about having that network, and then if you train with fellas and you play with fellas, and you're part of a team setup, and then you'll have made friends for life. And some of them go off and play with other teams, and you'll go your own way, but you'll always bump into them here and there going through life, and remember, you might have played under 14s or something with them, but you'll always be able to say hello, and you're always bumping into them.
Yeah, like, I know when the girls go to Gaynor Cup, you're playing against other counties or league centres or whatever, but like, they're under 14 at Gaynor, but I know from there they meet the other clubs and they get on Snapchat or whatever social media platform they're on, and some of them haven't met. They went into college, and they go into college the first day, and somebody that they met at the Gaynor Cup is in their class,
and straight away you have a connection.
They have a connection. They're like, it's a settling in phase in the college very quick. rather than going in and knowing nobody. So like they mightn't have seen one another for 10 years, but they still have that connection then when they go to and then end up playing college football together.
So the learning continues for you and for your next licence now. What is involved? Is there a lot of trips to Dublin? Are you able to do anything online?
It's a full year continuous assessment. We have 5 blocks in Dublin, 3-day blocks. You go up and then there's a lot of assessments to do, club work that'll have to be involved in it. So and then they do club visits, so they'll come down and do a club visit 2 or 3 times as well. So it's just continuous help. The FAI have been great, really supportive in the pathway now, whereas before you were just there's the course content and go off and try and do it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose as the badges get more prestigious or whatever, more important, then the responsibility comes bigger, and there's bigger workload, and they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. Like Tommy Carberry was my tutor or mentor for the AA licence, and he was up here 5 times. Now I found him absolutely brilliant. His support, there was days that your session was absolutely went against everything that you wanted, how it would run. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, if you would have did this week tweak at the beginning or in the middle of the session, it would have turned out the opposite way for you. So he was able to identify this, so that for my next session I was able to identify these wee things that can make a better session. And like if we would have did them in block, like I did the A licence in Cork, and it was 5 times 5 weeks in Cork, varies throughout the year. But like if we did them in Cork, I mightn't have actually twigged what he was saying, whereas he was up with me as well. So it was great, that support.
And finally, Breach, just going back to the World Cup coming up now in the summer, it must give you a great sense of pride that there's Donegal involvement in that team that'll be playing in Australia.
Oh, it's brilliant that you have. Hopefully they're on the plane. Like everybody, all the players are anxious. Like Vera said the last day at the thing, I think it's the 20th of June, she can have up to 50 players are named, but the 10th of July she has to name 23. So that pressure of that week or that couple of days, and players not knowing, like everybody that's in the panel currently, they don't know where
if they'll be on the plane.
If they're on the plane.
I know.
Hopefully that there are a minimum of 2, if not more. Like there's high potentials in Donegal that are tapping on the door, that are just up at home-based training camps.
Or that it might come. You think it might come too soon for them?
It could.
Without naming any names?
They may need another. But like if the football keeps evolving, hopefully that this won't be our only World Cup to qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
That it'll go on in 4 years' time, in 2 years' time it'll be Euros, in 4 years it'll another World Cup. So hopefully that the way the structures are in place, that it'll keep going and keep building, and then players will get their chance.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to it, and continued success with your own coaching career and all that it will bring. Breach, thanks a million for
Thank you very much.
Are you ready to experience something extra?